Select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL, 877-ASK-DELL.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer, number 8.
MC Premier Professional Wrestling with the American Machine, Chief Little Bear, Mr. 850, and exciting women's wrestling with Raven Knight and T-Games. Saturday, April 29th, Wrestling Against Cancer, number 8.
Number 8.
At the Bay Haven Charter Academy in Panama City. Doors open at 5:30, bell time 6:30. Proceeds benefit Donna Duncan.
More information, ESPNPC.com.
Weather forecast for this afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, mid to upper 70s, south wind at 10, water temperature in the Gulf is 71. Scattered clouds around 68 tonight. Pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, partly sunny near 80 each afternoon. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Living on the Gulf Coast, we have beautiful beaches, clear water, and amazing marine life. Want to bring a piece of the ocean into your home or office with an amazing aquarium? Gulf Coast Aquarium, the area's only certified platinum CCHEM dealer. Their staff are all certified CCHEM specialists. Gulf Coast Aquarium can install, design, maintain, and finance your own piece of the Gulf. Gulf Coast Aquarium, powered by CCHEM, with over 40 years as a U.S.-based manufacturer of quality aquarium products. Online at GulfCoastAquarium.com. Gulf Coast Aquarium, where it's more than just a tank.
Let your spring adventures begin today at Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family is built for all adventures, and the possibilities are endless. Now offering 3.25% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today, 2435 East 15th Street, or anytime online at BillBirdKia.com. We're going to treat you like family and give you that peace of mind that you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $22.22 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/3/23.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Krispy Kreme presents the Spring Minis 16 count. This includes 3 mini bouncing bunnies, 3 mini diving ducks, 3 mini daffodils, 3 mini chocolate iced donuts with spring sprinkles, and 4 original glazed donuts. The Spring Minis 16 count is available now. Celebrate spring at Krispy Kreme, next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Sierra here. here from Sip Society. We're mobile bartenders serving from a reimagined horse trailer in the Florida Panhandle and beyond. We've spent the last year remodeling and perfecting a vintage horse trailer that is now fully equipped to serve at any event. Serving anything from draft beer, wine, cocktails, and our specialty, Rosé, Sip Society elevates any event. You bring the party, we'll bring the bar. Check us out at ssmobilebar.com or follow us on all socials at Sip Society Mobile Bar.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, Power by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida. Get ready. Sports Talk Radio will never be the same.
Do you believe it? The Afternoon Underdogs.
And the Tide are up 17.
On ESPN.
Onion pickles, onions, pickles.
Northwest Florida.
They really is.
What's going on, Northwest Florida? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. It is Miles' birthday. Miles Nasty Lashley, and your parents sent in a great picture of Miles here. I don't know if you're able to see this on the Facebook feed right now. I was going to scan it and just put it as a perfect picture, but yeah, this is Miles. What age is this? Is your senior photo?
Yeah, 17 or 18 right there.
What was going on in your mind? And really appreciate
8 gallons of bleach later. Imagine Jonah Hill from 21 Jump Street in high school.
Yeah, for the listeners.
With a little bit longer hair.
So we took those the summer after our junior year, going into senior year, and we had all bleached our hair for baseball our junior year.
Okay.
And I was one of the few who did not either dye their hair for senior pictures or just cut it all out. Because as you can see right there, it would have had to be pretty short for me to cut it all out. Pretty much just would have been a brown buzz cut at that point.
Hold that up by yourself.
Looks like Owen Wilson.
It does, kind of, without the nose.
Yeah, without the nose, with the hair and everything.
But yeah, so hey, I'm glad to know that it was a baseball thing. Anyways,
there was a reason behind it.
Your parents sent that in to kind of razzle-dazzle you a little bit. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City, 102.1 in Mariana, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We've got the Sweet 16 games, the second half tonight, Friday, 5 p.m. So we're only going from 4 to 5. We'll have the Real Fishing Report in the next segment. Alabama, San Diego State's going to lead it off. And then the second half of that feature game is going to be Miami and Houston. So Westwood One will be bouncing back and forth between the best action going on in these games. Then we'll have the Elite Eight tomorrow night. Coverage will start 4:30 for that. And on Sunday, it'll be 12:30. So basically what I'm saying is just keep it locked into ESPN Northwest Florida all weekend long. Even if you are watching the games, you might as well just go ahead and get the app, ESPN Northwest Florida. You just
great announcers on there.
Exactly.
It's going to be like red zone basketball.
It is. It is. And so you can watch the game that you want, but you can also have the most important action coming through your speakers on the app on your phone. Again, happy birthday to Miles, and we are the Afternoon Underdogs.
Hey, by the way, happy birthday to my sister Joanne. It's her birthday today, too.
Birthday twins.
Hey, there you go. Happy birthday, Joanne. Thanks so much for being born. I was going to say listen, but I don't even think she's chimed in right now. So she'll listen later, though, once she finds out that her brother hit her with a shout out. I'm David Hayes along with AG, Adam Goff, Caveman Rick, Miles Nasty Lashley. We've got James and Bone Crusher on the board today. We are loaded for our shortest show of all time. Again, the Real Fishing Report.
It's game
tomorrow.
7 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right, and we're bringing in all the bullpen.
We're going
everybody's up and,
baby.
Everybody's up and warming up, getting ready.
Real quick before we dive into the Sweet 16, I mean, those games last night were just amazing. But one of the milestones of baseball, Trout versus Ohtani, you guys haven't been able to air your thoughts or grievances if you have any. But what about that at bat and just how that was the epitome of baseball, at least in my opinion?
I mean, it was impressive to watch. I mean, Ohtani coming in. Doing what he does. I mean, the big play was the double play, right? Getting that ground ball, getting the double play, wiping the bases clean. So now you've got Ohtani fresh. He's only got one person to have to worry about, and that's his teammate Mike Trout. Great at bat. Unfortunately, struck out. Wasn't able to get it done for the United States. But I think other side of the coin on this is that maybe this lights a fire under the rest of Major League Baseball as far as the U.S. players go, and say, okay, we can't have this happen again, because this is our game. We invented it. It's where it was born. It's where it was bred, and it's where it was perfected.
I agree with that, but Japan, as Caveman Rick has pointed out, 3 out of 5.
Call it the Japanese Invitational, as far as I'm concerned. 3 out of 5 wins,
so
and they went
hopefully this lights a
undefeated.
fire.
And I mean, Ohtani, what else can you say about this guy? I mean, I've heard people, using numbers like his contract's going to be $600 million coming up. And I mean, rightly so. I mean, he just proved on the biggest stages, because obviously you're not going to see him doing it with the Angels, that when it matters, this guy can come through. And I mean, I think Miles had a great point yesterday, man. I think putting Trout in that situation was bad. I mean, that was probably the biggest moment Mike Trout has ever had on a baseball field. And because he's never made the playoffs and had any success, so now you're basically playing for a championship, something you really never have done in the big leagues, and you got to produce. And Ohtani's done nothing but that. He attacked him, man. He threw, over 100 at him, and then right at the end, man, that changeup. I mean, he knows Mike Trout. I mean, Mike Trout's been around longer. You would have thought Mike Trout been able to, Jedi mind trick him a little bit, but no way, man. Ohtani had his number.
Yeah, after this entire World Baseball Classic, I think others would agree, Shohei Ohtani is still underrated somehow. And I'm a guy who likes to call out overrated players, but for me, him coming in, he's a starting pitcher, and him coming into the biggest stage of baseball at the biggest time in the ninth inning, coming down to close down that vaunted U.S. roster, and the
top of the order.
The top of the order at that after a leadoff walk, to me, is just like how you can't even write. You could not attempt to write a better script than that.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like a movie script, we saw it in Little Big League.
Yeah,
when Randy Johnson came in at the end there against the Twins. But I mean, it was a similar situation. You see a guy that's fighting for his country, which again lends me to go back to Scherzer, where you at? Verlander, where you at? All these big names got all this big money tied up into these teams. If you're from the United States, you're a United States citizen, why aren't you on this team? I don't want to hear about your contract. You made enough damn money in Major League Baseball with sponsors and contracts as it goes. You should be on that team fighting to show the rest of the world that while this game was born here, it was perfected here, and it is our game still.
Do you think if the Cardinals players weren't on that championship team, U.S. would have had a better shot, since Cardinals players batted 1 for 7 in that championship game?
No, because Arenado and Goldschmidt got them there. I mean, they helped them get there. So, and they should be playing on that game or on that team. So it's just frustrating that the pitching staff was
players,
so
let's be honest.
abysmal.
U.S. players are more worried about winning a World Series than they are worried about the Olympics and international type play. The Latinx type players, they were screaming the whole time. This means more to them than it would be a World Series. A lot of those guys. So that just right there just shows you determination. And a lot of times something like that will end up being the difference when you have these professionals out there playing against one another anyways, and the differences are so minute. If you want it more and you're a hungrier dog.
Yeah, I agree with that, but at the same time, with Japan, Samurai Japan now winning 3 of the 5 classics, at that point you can't have that mindset. Not saying that they do.
They're doing it with fundamentals and stuff too. The Japanese.
Right, that's what's so fun about watching that Japanese team play ball. Yeah,
they're doing it with pitching. They're not outscoring everybody 12-1.
Well, they
can play small ball well too.
They were blasting everyone.
But look what they're doing, right? They're winning with pitching. Mm-hmm. They're beating teams 3-2. 5-2, 5-4. They're not giving up a whole lot of runs.
Yeah.
And the U.S. has that ability if these prima donnas can get up off their rear ends and go pitch for the United States like they should.
Yeah, I mean, well, some of the guys that you're like Verlander and Scherzer, do they make their names make a difference? Absolutely. Are they in the position right now? And this isn't an excuse. They should have gotten ready earlier, but I'm just saying, were they in the position to make the USA's roster better outside of name? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, they are.
Well, I mean,
I think you make the best roster
an
that
injury.
you can.
an injury, and I agree with that.
But like I'm saying, not with these guys' names. I'm saying, like, if you have a guy that might be better than like a Verlander, but Verlander has like the more household name, don't go with that. Go with what's going to get you the most wins and get you the best chance. And if that means a guy like, you don't have a Verlander or Scherzer, like in this case, I don't know if it would have made a difference or not, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, I want the best team that we could put together, the best overall team, not just names.
And that was 10-minute tangents with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to get into the Sweet 16 here. We're on the radio 104.3 in Panama City, 102.1 in Marianna, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Be sure to like and share the Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, download the app, and register all at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are about 10 minutes away from the Real Fishing Report with Tim Braddock and Bay Breeze bait and tackle last night in the Sweet 16. Which game do you want to start with? Do we start with the blowout, UConn and Arkansas? Some people were giving Arkansas
talk about that one.
Well, we're going to just slightly, like 30 seconds here. Of the programs left in March Madness, UConn's the only one to have ever won the trophy at the end of this NCAA tournament. So we could be very well if Gonzaga takes down UConn. Not only are we going to have a first-time coach with Tom Izzo and Michigan State losing last night, no matter what, whoever's cutting down the nets as a coach, it'll be the first time. If UConn does not move on, then we're going to have a brand new team to win the tournament. 23-point victory is the biggest in the program's history for a Sweet 16 game or later in the tournament. That's for UConn. Good for them. Their shooters came to play last night, 45% from three-point, and they also had 4 players in double digits. And 4 of the Huskies registered at least 6 rebounds in the win. The most exciting game of last night, well, you could go one of 3 different ways. I think that Michigan State and Kansas State kind of hold that spot. Hey, G, give me your takeaways from that game last night, the one that led it off.
Well, I mean, you had 2 different coaching regimes, right? You've got Izzo, who's, he's been a champion his entire career. He's led the Big Ten every single year he's been there, essentially. They're the last Big Ten champion, like 23 years ago.
2000.
Right. So, he's been there. He's done that. And then on the other side, you've got the Kansas State coach who's, he's not done it before. So it's new world to him. And if you looked at that game, Michigan State looked a little tight in the beginning. Kansas State looked a little tight in the beginning. But then as the game started wearing on and Noel started doing his thing, they started getting loosened up. We saw that phenomenal play in overtime where he's arguing with the coach.
Dude,
and then he just casually drops a half-court alley-oop for a reverse
And
dunk.
they said that argument was real. I cannot buy that was
played out to me.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought they came out and said that it wasn't that wasn't a play call.
Right.
They were just like, he was just talking to the coach. He saw that out of his peripheral vision and threw it up. Perfect.
See, to me, it reminds me of like when the quarterback comes over to the sideline. It's like, I can't hear the play, and then they snap it. That's what it resembled to me. But, phenomenal game. I'm sad for Max and his Big Ten not getting a title for the last 23 years. But awesome game. Kansas State, we've not seen a guard of this stature.
5'7".
And not even talking about his height. I'm just talking about his ability.
Okay.
Since like Kemba Walker doing what he did for that UConn team. And then also when you look at, a Khalil Amin with UConn as well and what he was able to do on his teams, just dominate, take over, do whatever his team deems necessary. So it's impressive.
Miles, what did you take away from Marquise Noel and what he was able to do last night in that unstoppable performance?
Yeah, it's awesome to see a 5'7" guy, 5'8" with shoes on, guy go out there and compete with a bunch of 6'5", 6'6" guys all game, 20 points, 19 assists, broke the NCAA record for that, 5 steals. I haven't seen anything like it this tournament. I haven't seen anything like that in a while from a guy like him. And then the Keontae Johnson story is just awesome. Him coming back, having an awesome year. That dunk by him. The whole game was awesome. And Kansas State is now, I think America's rooting for Kansas State to win it all.
Well, America was rooting for TCU to win it all in football. But
similar colors.
This is a different sport, though, and they actually do have a chance, especially if Keontae Johnson and Marquise Noel are leading the way. And what's going to stop them right now? Noel's averaging 21.3, 14 assists, and 3.6 steals, which he basically mirrored those numbers last night. So, but then again, here's the difference too, and this is the same in every single sport across the board. Every matchup is different. So what they saw from Michigan State isn't necessarily going to be who are they playing next?
I thought it was January, February Izzo.
That's going to be an interesting game, but does it not favor, at least now, and we'll see in the odds, that favors Kansas State?
FAU taking out Tennessee, which, again, Rick Barnes, it's the same old story with this guy.
It's like Matt Painter and Purdue.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you have all this talent, and you just can't get it done.
Louisville gonna hire him?
But no, but you look at that FAU team, and they've proven in this tournament that they can play however you want to play. You want to play physical and rough like Tennessee? We'll play physical and rough like Tennessee. You want to run and gun and shoot and go at it that way? We'll do that too. So it's going to be interesting to see how FAU tries to slow down Noel. Because they do have some quick guards as well, but that game is going to be intriguing because not only is it either Kansas State or FAU going to the Final Four, but the guard matchups in that game are going to be something to watch.
Yeah, and if anything, I mean, FAU did prove last night that they can stand up with whoever they got to stand up with.
I think it's great seeing all this new blood that you were talking about, all these first-time teams that have a chance to win. I think it's great for the game instead of seeing these, perennial teams that make it, to the Final Four every year getting bounced. So I'm rooting for that, this year. I'm rooting for UConn to lose, basically.
Hey, now UConn's also a stout team as well.
No doubt.
And they had one of the best overall performances of the tournament in that one game last night against Arkansas, who took down the number 1 seed in Kansas. When you look at FAU, though, watching that game last night, they go on that 15-2 run against Tennessee. Gonzaga at that point in time, I believe, was down 13 to UCLA, and I'm sitting there like, Gonzaga needs, because I've got them in the Final Four, or in the national championship game, losing to Alabama, and it's like Gonzaga needs this 15-2 or 15-2 type run, but it does not seem, and this is still in the first half, does not seem like they're going to be able to muster 13 points, a 13-point advantage against the way that UCLA was playing, and then lo and behold, the second half comes, and Drew Timme, who knows, we're not going to see, more than likely, we're not going to see a lengthy career from Drew Timme at the NBA level or career at all. Right, 100%. But what he's doing at this level right now is unheralded.
That helped out a lot that UCLA just fell apart and forgot how to shoot a basketball and play the game in the second half.
Yeah, they let him back in it, and then it allowed Gonzaga to come back and take a 10-point lead with 3.5 minutes to go. And then what happened? UCLA flipped a switch, and they started getting the ball down low again. And some of those layups that they were missing, they were starting to make. I was on the other side of that game. I've got UCLA in my Final Four, so I'm watching that. And when UCLA hits the 3 to go up by 1 with 12 seconds to go, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
We did it.
And then all of a sudden you see the drop back pass. And
Villanova.
the kid hits,
the Jay Wright.
The Villanova play. Yeah, and the kid hits one from Steph Curry range.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Just great basketball all around.
I mean, really, only one blowout last night, and you look at the games tonight, and Alabama-San Diego State could absolutely be a close game. You could have Miami and Houston. That could be a close game as well.
Are we all pulling for Miami just to spite Kyle Wright?
I'm pulling for Houston, honestly, because of the Sasser twins. But
I'm pulling for Miami.
I think Miami's got a good chance. I think that they're better than losing by 7.5 points. I like them with the points tonight.
Yeah.
They're a 7.5 point dog. I like Miami with the points. Who's the other game? You got Xavier in Texas to end the night.
That's going to be a ball.
Princeton.
Miami's
Why is
women's
it so hard to forget
Miami's
about that
women's
game?
moved on again today, so I'm taking my chances with their men's. They've both been on a tear together.
Who did Miami's women beat?
4 seed Villanova.
Yeah. So too bad that the men aren't playing over.
But that
right
whole
now,
bracket has been disrupted too, by the way. But the Xavier Texas game is going to be a war. That game is going to come down to the wire, and it's going to be whoever has the ball last. So that game is the one that's intriguing to me. Princeton's the good story, the 15 seed. They're still here.
They got a shot.
They're still viable. I mean, yeah, they got a shot. They've been playing this well for, 2 weeks now.
Higher than
Smart
50%
kids.
chance.
Huh?
Do they have better than a 50% chance to pull off the upset tonight?
It's probably 50-50.
How big is that upset, being that the team that they're playing tonight in Creighton is just a 6 seed, and they've already taken down higher seeds than that, or lower
I'll
seeds?
ask you another question. How crazy is it going to be on Sunday when we're sitting here talking about a 15 seed winning and going to the Final Four? That answers your question, right? That's wild.
Right, I mean, and usually when they make it to the tournament, they're a pretty good team. They'll usually go, at least to Sweet 16.
And they're big, too. Creighton's kind of big.
Well, Princeton rebounds like crazy.
Princeton just does what they have to do. I think to take down a 2 seed, and I believe that they shot less than 30. They definitely shot less than 30% from the 3-point land. That's impressive, because whenever we're talking about upsets like a 15-2, a 14-3, all of those, big differences in between the seed numbers, it's normally always 3-point shooting is what led them to that, and a good amount of turnovers as well.
Might be something we talk about in another time in another show. I just want to bring up now just because it might be a little in depth, but the seeding this year, there was a lot of controversy over the seeding. Do we think maybe the seeding purposefully was seeded in this kind of not traditional way or whatever, so that we could have these big upsets and see these kinds of things,
just like the NFL,
for the publicity and the hype?
Right. No, I don't think that, because just like the NFL, we had a large amount of parity in the NFL. Well, we've had that in college basketball. People have been talking about it the whole entire time. So I think that that's why we're having the madness that we're having, and then 2, how do you seed stuff when there's just so many ramifications or things that you can look at and be like, oh, this team should be above them, and then you look at another stat and it's like, no, they should be above them.
Well, and then there's the pod system too, right? So they try to keep some of the seeds as close as they can to their home city. So a lot of that weighs into it as well. It's
sometimes
not the major factor, but it is a factor.
Benefit of the doubt, and they get a better region. That
nobody got Alabama's region except Alabama.
Roll Tide, bro. Sometimes,
Roll Tide, that's right. Roll Tide.
Hey, if you're going to win your first championship ever, you need some dominoes to fall in your favor. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick time out. We're going to be right back with Tim Braddock with the Real Fishing Report.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Teams not in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes are saying they would not give up a first-round pick for him. 2 years ago, Matt Stafford, with a losing record, went for 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a Super Bowl quarterback, Jared Goff. Aaron Rodgers today, second-round pick, maybe a third-rounder next year conditional.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, 11 to 1, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather forecast for this afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, mid to upper 70s, south wind at 10, water temperature in the Gulf is 71. Scattered clouds around 68 tonight. Pretty good chance of showers of thunderstorms over the weekend, partly sunny near 80 each afternoon. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Hi, it's Coach James Hale. Keeping your car looking great is easy as 1, 2, 3 at Blue Sky Express Car Wash. By joining their monthly wash club, you'll get the best bang for your buck. And just 2 car washes, your monthly membership pays for itself. Don't miss the summer deal where all your monthly memberships are 50% off on your first month, starting at $9.99 a month. Become a member today at Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Bat Beach Road, right next to Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hale sent you.
The Real Fishing Report. It's expert insider information from Tim at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. What's biting? What bait to use? Where to cast? And now, the Real Fishing Report. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back here on ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3, and it is time for everybody's favorite segment of the week, the Real Fishing Report with Mr. Tim Braddock. How are we doing today, Tim?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Doing well, doing well.
Outstanding. Great Friday, man, like always.
Great Friday.
Who do we have with us today, Mr. Tim?
So we have a guest captain joining us today, Captain Brandon Simon.
Fantastic.
And Brandon Simon has a charter called Pharmacy. And so...
You've talked about him before, I believe.
Yeah, he's actually been on the show. He came on in the fall with us. And he's here with us today. And we were on the water about 2 hours ago. So we have a brand new, a fresh report.
There you go.
For you then. So we'll get right into the show today. And very glad to have Brandon back with us. And Brandon, for those folks who maybe hadn't heard the show before, why don't you give them a brief synopsis of who you are, where you're from, and then what you do in your charter business?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys for having me on again. So Pharmacy Outfitters, where the name comes from. I graduated from Purdue, and as a pharmacist, actually, worked for 10 years, and just fished all the time, and decided to make it full-time. So 5 years ago, started a company, and quit my job last year, and off and running, so.
There you go. So how many boats do we have?
We've got 2.
Nice.
Yep.
Is this inshore and offshore?
Inshore, offshore, and nearshore tarpon fishing. So fishing out of Santa Rosa Beach, Destin area.
Gotcha.
Right on.
Yep.
Got it all covered.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got every aspect of fishing you can be able to do, which is kind of nice. Today we were gonna try to go offshore tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But if you've seen the weather forecast, you know that Panama City this weekend's not a great weekend to try to go offshore. Matter of fact, we looked
It might be safer offshore than it will be inland, Tim.
Well, you're right. I don't think they put special event zones out in the Gulf yet.
Right.
But if they do, we may go join those.
If they do, just look for the mahi and the triple tail under those times.
Yeah. So Brandon actually has some close ties to that event that happened last year.
Okay.
Down here. And Brandon, give them the quick story on what took place.
Yeah, so essentially as a pharmacy manager at the Walmart on Front Beach Road last year, and as most of you locals can remember what happened. So I was working there at about 6:30 when the Walmart flash mob occurred. So that was about since my last day at Walmart.
Yeah.
So then I just kind of launched my career after that and just kind of started my second career. And I put my 2 weeks in, and here we are a year later. It's hard to believe it's been a year. So,
all right, well, fantastic.
Man. Work for yourself and
so
do what you love.
We have joked all day about those special event zones. not in. They're serious business, but we hope that they decide to stay away this week. But the fishing for us this weekend, tomorrow is going to be a little bit rough. We did fish Choctawhatchee Bay today. We saw a lot of good sign. We caught a few trout. The trout bite was starting to pick up a little bit, which is a good thing. So, Brandon, why don't you give the listeners real quick kind of a brief synopsis of what we've seen really over the past 3 to 4 days, and then what to expect coming into this week.
Yeah. So we'll start inshore. We'll say 3 weeks ago, the fishing was on fire when the weather was warm. We obviously had this cold front. It just it's killed the inshore fishery. The water temps has dropped 10 or 15 degrees. The redfish, the trout, everything kind of just moved around. With this warmer weather coming in, the trout and the redfish are going to start biting. You're starting to see more LYs and bait showing up in the bay, which is a great sign. So expect the fishery to get better and better as the weeks go on, especially with this warmer weather. So, with that being said, I look forward to taking everybody out these next couple of weeks and got a full schedule booked, so we're ready to get after them.
Yeah, we got spring break coming in. There'll be a lot of people fishing, which is good for reporting. We get a much bigger sample bed.
Right.
The other good thing is pompano are starting to pick up, and I think you two
caught some this week.
Yeah, you two caught some this week. We were all set up on the surf. Salty Girls beach setups came out and set up a fantastic spread for us with 2 fires and chairs and hey, all 3 of you were out there.
Actually.
Yeah. I met
great time.
And our shop staff was out there, did a fantastic job at making sure everybody had, things set up, and sun went down. And 10 minutes after the sun went down, next thing we know, the pompano bite was on. Mm-hmm. And we landed 3 pompano in a matter of about 30 minutes, caught a little bluefish. So I believe you took those pompano home.
I did. I filleted them up that night, and then the wife, she likes to do I soak them in milk is what I do with mine. And then what she does is she'll do a egg wash and some flour and then some cornmeal. Yep. So it has a little crunch, and then we fried them up. It was tasty.
Little crunch.
Got a little honey garlic seasoning that we put on there as well in the cornmeal breading.
Yeah.
It was very, very good.
That sounds delicious. I think it's important to note, too, we are starting to see bait balls show up, which was something that was a feature of today. But we talked about a little bit of cold weather's kind of been hit or miss, and it's finally nice to see some bait show up.
So. Absolutely. That was a huge sign. Once you start seeing that, you're going to start seeing the trout bite pick up, and just seeing that extra bait in the water it's going to be it's a huge confidence booster for all of us as guides. It's been a tough 2 weeks out there, and especially in our bay. With that bait showing up, that just means the redfish and trout are going to start moving on the flats and kind of get more of a solid pattern for us. So looking forward to it.
So let's talk about bait real quick. Obviously, bait and tackle, I'm in that business, right? And a
little bit, right?
We like to sell bait, but Captain Brandon and many other captains and myself as well all have nets. My personal favorite net size to throw is a 6 foot for bait, and 3/4 inch mesh or 3/8 inch mesh. And but for those who maybe have never caught bait, Brandon, give them a brief description of what you're looking for to identify essentially where they can get bait at.
Yeah. So, you just kind of look in the bayous and the bays. Sometimes you'll see them flashing on top. Other times, you just kind of use your fish finder. You can really see these bright red spots on the bottom. That's what those LYs you're looking for. Sometimes you'll, just throw your net on top of them. I use a 10 foot. He said 6 foot. I use a 10 foot, 3/8 inch mesh. And usually you're going to fill up your live well, especially if they're around. So, just look for those big bait balls. You'll see them on top. You'll see birds diving sometimes on them, but that's what you want. And perfect bait. That's what you want this time of year. So,
yep, good identification on the bait. That's something I guess I just take for granted. I know how to find it, right? Or it's just something I learned early on from a gentleman from Louisiana. And if you've never, had to find it, sometimes you don't know exactly what you're looking for.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about products. One of my favorite, areas we kind of talk about. I like the gear side. I love when it comes to hunting. I love shooting birds, so shotguns. And then in the fishing world, for me, it's rod and reels. And so let's talk a little bit specifically about reels. There are many different brands out there. There's many different types. There are price points from $40 all the way up to $1,000 for these custom machined all aluminum Whistler reels, made in Germany type reels. And so let's talk a little bit about reels. Specifically, in our shop, we carry a brand called Florida Fishing Products, which has been around now for about 7 years, and or particularly in this area in the Panhandle. They have released now their 3rd generation of reels, and we at the shop have thoroughly enjoyed them. From a use standpoint, like the staff physically uses these reels when they fish, and then Captain Brandon actually uses Florida Fishing Products for his charter fleet as well. And so, Brandon, why don't you give those out there listed? Why do you use Florida Fishing Product reels?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, they have a sealed drag. So when it comes to saltwater fishing, that's a huge advantage. All you got to do is spray them all with the fresh water after each trip. And I've had them for, a little over a year now, and they're still working like the day I bought them. So, and then most of my clients just comment on how smooth the drag is on them. They just love them. They're like, man, these are great reels. They've never heard of them before, being from the Midwest or, somewhere other than Florida. So, the drags and the steel drag component of it, when it comes to saltwater reel, it's just a huge selling point for me.
And these are all spinning reels.
Spinning reels, correct. You got it.
Yeah, Florida Fishing Products makes 2 series. They're all spinning reels. There's 2 series. One's called a CE, which is carbon edition. The other one is a Resolute. So it's a coated steel that's been painted. And but all of them, as Brandon stated, every single one of them have sealed drag, which is huge. And then they also have stainless steel ball bearings. What's important to note, I can tell you, most of you are listening to us, obviously, right now on radio. I can't give you a technical, in-depth description of how that radio works, right? I can't tell you exactly how the radio sound makes it out in the airwaves and how it makes it to your radio. But what I can tell you is when I get in the car and I hit the on button, right, and it turns to 104.3, next thing I know, I'm listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm listening to Sports Talk Radio, right? Well, the Florida Fishing Product reels are technically sound, and one thing that continuously gets comment on is they work great, how smooth those reels are. And so, if you're in the market, if you're looking for a new reel, Penn, Daiwa, Shimano make all great quality reels at all different price points. But be sure to come by Baby Breeze Bait and Tackle. Check out those Florida Fishing Product reels and check out for yourself really how smooth those reels operate.
I got a question for a couple experts here, and it's a up for debate kind of thing, and I just want to get your all's perspective on it. Are electric reels, when you're deep dropping, cheating?
No. No.
Is it cheating?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Because you hear either side, right? That's not fishing.
IGFA is not going to recognize, let's put it that way, I don't believe, if you use an electric reel.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't think I'm going out trying to set an IGFA record.
No.
You know why I'm going out? To drink a cold beverage of some sort and have a good time.
And get some dinner.
And you know what? When you come home that evening and your thumb's tired rather than your whole body and your back being tired,
it's a good day.
It's been a real good day. Okay. So is electric reels cheating? The answer to that is no.
Okay. Brandon?
I don't believe so either, man. It's all about catching fish sometimes, especially in 2,000 foot of water.
Right.
You can just hit a button. That's the way to go.
All right, fantastic. Well, I appreciate that because like I said, I've used them before, and I've had people say, "Oh, well, you didn't really catch, that fish," and it's like, no, I did catch that fish.
Yeah. We'll do a whole show just on electric reels.
Okay,
because there's a whole different type of electric reels out there now, and I think it'll be a great discussion. So,
any word on American Red Snapper season coming up?
No word just yet.
Yeah, what are we thinking? What's our thoughts?
We were talking about this today.
I think I saw somewhere where Federal's open June 1st, but then it says to be determined of when it's going to close. So they haven't gave us a set date, and then State Water's up for debate. I believe April they have the meeting, and they decide late April or early May when they're going to give us their State Water season. So
okay,
I was going to say, give us a way to contact you so people out there maybe can get up with you and maybe get a charter if they want to go out fishing.
Yeah. I've got a website, pharmacyoutfitters.com, or you can just give me a phone call or a text at 850-565-9556. But website's probably going to be these. My phone number is on there also. So
that's pharmacy, PHARMASEA.
SEA, just like the C. Yeah, kind of a play on words there.
Right.
That sounds good. Good pun.
Yep.
It's a great pun. Real quick on the Red Snapper, I'm very thankful for the season they gave us last year. And the discussion has been amongst several of the captains I know that have been doing this a while. We expect it to be around the same model as last year. We don't expect drastic changes. The grouper situation is the one that is probably getting the most discussion this year.
We probably
aren't they supposed to be maybe letting the Goliath grouper possibly get into where people can keep some of those?
Well, that's definite, and it's all based on a lotto tag. So
lottery
system. So, yep.
Yeah. Mostly, it's kind of a South Florida fishery, but especially catching Goliaths that small, what you can keep. So,
well, I imagine they'll probably have a slot for them, just like they do a redfish as well on those Goliath as well, right?
Yeah, they'll have minimal size requirements.
Right.
You won't be able to keep juvenile. So to kind of recap some of the things, inshore this week is probably going to be weekend is going to be your best bet to be able to go fishing, period. Mm-hmm. Offshore, the weather looks like it's not going to cooperate with us. You certainly can go out and probably do some bottom fishing. There's even good opportunity to go out and do some trolling this weekend if you want to tolerate 3 to 4 foot seas. So
the Spanish are in the bay too, in the passes, so there's always that option. They're going to be thick. The surf looks doable. There's a couple of days that are going to be a little rough, but it should be good pumping on fish from this south wind. So
yes, Sunday morning.
Yep.
Sunday morning.
I'm off Sunday. I might be going.
There you go. Sunday morning, grab your sand fleas, your fish bites, your 2 hook.
Are you open Sunday over at Baby's Bait and Tackle?
We are. We are open Sunday from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I might be out there at 6 a.m., buddy.
So come on and see us, and it's a great place to come by and get your bait on Sundays.
All right. Well, we got about 2 minutes left before we have to get out of here and get to a break. Any last things as far as the charter business? Like, what are we seeing, or what's the trend right now?
So offshore wise, we haven't been able to get out much. When we do, we're targeting mostly triggerfish and mingo snappers and a little bit of trolling for Spanish mackerel right now. That's kind of the main thing. Mm-hmm. Water's heating up. King mackerel are going to show up. Maya are going to be here any second. And, as soon as that red snapper gets announced, it's game on after that. So inshore, it's going to keep getting better and better as the water warms up. So
cobia should be moving through pretty soon.
Yeah, right? The mythical creature out there. But they're still out there, but you got to spend a few days looking for them anymore. It seems that way. So.
Are you concerned at all about this giant seaweed mass that's moving our direction?
I'm actually excited for it, man. I'm ready for the mahi to follow them. So
yeah, that's kind of where my head was at. I was talking with Tim about it the other night.
As long as it doesn't get so bad that you can't even get out of marinas and places like that because it gets so inundated with that.
I don't see it being that bad. The beaches might be inundated, but I think you'll still be able to fish offshore a little bit. Yeah, okay. I think we'll be all right.
And hopefully there's a giant herd of those sea chickens coming at us, huh?
Precisely.
Right. Is there anything better than mahi fishing? Not for me, there's not.
I think so.
You fish a wahoo.
I'm some wahoo. I had some wahoo bites in state waters last year when that grass came in. Absolutely. So
I like a good deep drop like grouper, snowy grouper. Mm-hmm. Those to me are kind of my fun. That's what I enjoy the most.
I just like being able to just throw out anything.
Well, you were talking about it the other night. You like the blood everywhere, the guts.
It's exciting.
I want a clean boat.
We spray off and things like that as we go, but it's just fun, just because all that stuff goes everywhere and it's exciting. Your blood's boiling and pumping, and it's really, really just a lot of fun. So so kind of scary as far as the seaweed things go, or seaweed thing goes, but. Like you said, for a charter boat captain, it could be a really good selling point for you. Like, hey, we're going to take you out here and we're going to show you a really, really good time. So, Tim, any last thing? Where can we get a hold of you?
Oh, yeah. West end of Panama City Beach. The best thing to do is come down and see us. You can call us at 850-235-0775. But there's nothing like coming in shop, getting the experience in the shop, and having the guys take the time, talk with you about the fishing, what's biting, where it's biting, what's the best bait to use. And there's nothing like physically being in that shop.
And will we be fully stocked on Sunday morning when I come in there?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
Fully stocked, ready to go.
They know they're fishing.
I know they do. And they've made some really, really great improvements since Tim has been there. Because I remember when I first moved here, it was coming along, but it wasn't really there. But if you walk in there today, it's impressive being able to see everything that they've got going on.
Let me tell you, this guy's the real deal. He showed us a good time earlier this week. Very informative, knows how to take care of people, customers, and such. So if you guys want a good experience going to a fishing bait store, tackle store, come see Tim.
All right. Well, Brandon, again, we do appreciate you stopping by. Tim, thank you. As always, really, really enjoy it. He's got the gram working, so make sure you check out Baby's Bait Tackle. Again. And we're going to get out here to a quick break, and we will be back after this short break on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Sweet 16.
Oh, he's been unconscious here in the second half.
Live play-by-play and whip-around coverage starts today at 5 with Alabama versus San Diego State.
And the Tide are up 17.
And Houston versus Miami. Then Creighton versus Princeton and Texas versus Xavier. On your home for March Madness.
And that might be the dagger.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family has movement that inspires, and we invite you to test drive the new 2023 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You can command the road in a sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2023 Rio, Forte, K5, or Stinger, and discover the all-new Kia at Bill Bird Kia, 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. Peace of mind you can trust at your local community dealer, Bill Bird Kia.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see them today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
Hi, this is Matt Lewis with Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. We offer comprehensive diagnostics and repair service for all types of hydraulic units, such as hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders, hydraulic pumps, motors, and valves, as well as a broad range of hydraulic hoses and O-rings. Give us a call at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions at 850-326-3000 for any of your hydraulic needs. Or come see us on Commercial Drive off Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
Get all the local scores with the High School Sports Spotlight, weekdays at 5:45. The Afternoon Underdogs are live and local on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Welcome back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. 3 fantastic frequencies, 104.3 in Panama City, 102.1 in Mariana, and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. This is the final segment of the afternoon on the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Miles Lashley and Caveman Rick and Adam Goff as well. This is your local high school sports spotlight that is brought to you by Barbaritos, food community people. Visit Barbaritos on 23rd Street and tell them the Underdogs sent you. Let's get to our latest scores here. I'll start off with JUCO basketball on the men's side of the bracket. Midland takes down Chipola 69-55, and Northwest Florida ekes out a win over Vincennes 68-55. Tallahassee over Dodge City 75-69.
On the women's side of basketball, JUCO, Gulf Coast takes down Three Rivers 71-47. Northwest Florida 59, Shelton 51. To JUCO softball, 2 games, doubleheader, I'm guessing. Gulf Coast, first game, they take down Chipola 7-6. Game 2, they take them down big 17-9. Another doubleheader, it looks like Northwest Florida, game 1, 6-0 over Tallahassee. And then Tallahassee 11-5 in game 2 over Northwest Florida.
Caveman Rick with the baseball.
All right, high school baseball. We got Arnold taking down Catholic 5-1. North Florida Christian. Oh, man, they lost a tough one to Mosley 5-0. No runs there. Bozeman, close one again against Port St. Joe 5-4. North Bay Haven, a bit of a shellacking over Holmes, 11-1. South Walton loses a tough one to Tate, 8-3. And Franklin, Zilch's Weewa Hitchka out, 12-0. Moving on to softball, we have North Bay Haven scoring 3 against Bozeman 7. Port St. Joe not scoring any runs, unfortunately, against Franklin's 8. And then we also have Arnold. Man, they put a beating on Mosley, kind of 17-7.
Yeah, 10-run rule right there. The 1 seed, and Arnold's going to be taking on the 2 seed Bozeman. That'll be tonight. The final game will be played at Rutherford High School tonight at 6 p.m. Go out there and support our local athletes. That's going to be a heck of a game. Not often do you get to a tournament like that, and it ends up being the 1 and the 2 seeds. Just a reminder, tonight we've got the second half of the Sweet 16. Coverage is going to be starting at 5 p.m., and we'll tip it off with Alabama, San Diego State, and the second half of that feature game will be Miami and Houston. We'll have all of the Sweet 16 games right here tonight, keeping you up with the latest and greatest and what's going on with the action. Elite 8 tomorrow, 4:30 for the coverage on Saturday, and 12:30 on Sunday for both sides of the Elite 8. Arnold High School Athletic Director Rick Green has confirmed that the Marlins head boys basketball coach Travis Jackson is no longer with the program. Arnold principal Britt Smith said that he met with Coach Jackson before spring break to inform him that he would not be renewing his supplement to be the head boys basketball coach at Arnold. So this is effective immediately. Coach William Wolf, who is the current Arnold girls basketball coach, he's going to oversee all spring-related operations and scheduling for both boys and the girls basketball teams. Travis Jackson, that is, was hired for the position last year, August 30th, 2022, and he led the Marlins to a 10-15 record this past season. The Arnold boys basketball team, which was a force to be reckoned with when I was in high school, has not had a winning season since 2014. Barbaritos, food community people. Visit Barbaritos on 23rd Street and tell them the Underdog sent you. Tough break there for Travis Jackson and Arnold. So they're going to be looking for a new coach just a year after replacing said coach. Now, I don't know too many of the details behind the scenes here, but you just got to wonder, is 1 year enough time to get your program going in the direction that you visualized before you even took the job?
Yeah, I don't think 1 year's ever enough. You hate to see it, but hopefully they can get back to a winning record in the next few years.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it seems to be the trend in sports nowadays where coaches are barely getting a year a lot of times. Fan bases can't wait, they're impatient, and unfortunately, you get the axe if it doesn't go well.
And this is some big-time news here from Bay High Tornadoes football. Will Smiley is going to be headed to Annapolis. He's going to be playing football for Navy. Will Smiley was an athlete on that Bay High Tornado team last year, just a stud, to be honest. And what better way to move on from high school to play for Navy? So that'll give us an extra piece of excitement when it comes to the greatest college football game that they play, the Army-Navy game at the end of every year. All eyes will be on number one, at least from this area, in Will Smiley. Congratulations to him. Can't wait to see what the future holds for Will Smiley. 850-215-6290. You can give us a call or a text. Today is the final segment. What you got, Miles?
I've got to ask Kate, man, if he's seen the story, the Ken Francis story with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, obviously, yes.
So if you were in that situation, I don't know how big of an Eagles fan you are. I feel like you're a pretty big Philly Eagles fan.
No doubt.
Would you ever do something like that?
No, I don't think so. I think, especially if it's my team, you're kind of doing a detriment to the team.
Let's say the Eagles didn't have a quarterback right now, which they do. They don't have a quarterback. The team's not. It doesn't look like they're going after anybody. Are you making a call to the Philadelphia Eagles, trying to get them a new quarterback or trying to get them Lamar Jackson, pretending you're an agent? Allegedly,
it depends on how.
I think Miles is the only person that would do that.
If I think I could get away with it, depending on the circumstances, I may.
Well, you should go by a name like Ken Francis.
Well, like we've been hearing on the radio, some people even thinking that sounds like a phony name, I guess. And
it's not, by the way.
No, and I understand it's not, which is good for this guy. Here's the thing about this guy, Ken Francis. Now, even if this deal doesn't go through, whatever other business endeavors this guy's involved with, he's getting the kind of publicity right now that he can't buy. So his name's out there, and he's going to come out smelling like a rose at the end of this, no matter how this goes down. So kudos to Ken Francis.
Yeah, and when Lamar does get a contract finally, whenever that is, a lot of the social media response from that is going to be, let's go Ken Francis, you did a great job.
Well, they're business partners in the first place. They do portable gym equipment, and he says that he hasn't contacted any teams on behalf of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson also headed to Twitter and said, "Stop lying. That man never tried to negotiate."
And he tweeted
me.
something out like, "Hey, me and my buddy Ken are starting this new business last night."
And this is how people leak things out so that the media can talk about it, and there could be speculation and blah blah blah. And somebody set this up, and it's probably going down exactly the way they had foreseen, this whole situation to pan out.
I know I would, if it was legal. I don't know how legal this is, but I think I would give it a shot, though, if I was that needy for a quarterback or to help my guy go somewhere. Like if I had a close friend who didn't have an agent or something,
Unless
I don't
it's
know.
a detriment to his career, somehow or another, this ends up tilting the tables one way to where Lamar doesn't get a deal. Then, like, if I'm Lamar, I'm be like, yo, bro, I know you're my buddy, but you just, like, you just hurt me, man.
Yeah, it'll be
thought you
fun
were
to
my
watch.
friend, not my enemy,
Very exciting story. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, but it's not very exciting. I wouldn't say it's exciting, but it is unique and it's different. I don't. What do you find exciting about it?
I want to see where Ken's career goes after this.
It's just the juicy story, it's gossipy.
It's definitely juicy.
It's TMZ-ish,
Well, yeah, and with everything else that's been with Lamar for the past year,
or like hard copy, got the hot, speculative story that everybody's gonna be talking about.
Well, if this was about anybody other than the guy who's looking for the largest contract in the NFL, then this is almost a non-starter.
Yeah,
but because it's attached to Lamar Jackson and their business partners, that's what's juicy about it. I don't know what's
and a guy
exciting
with no
about
agent to begin with either, other than his mom.
If it came out that Ken Francis was calling NFL teams to try to get Mac Jones traded, this would not be a story.
Right, exactly. It's Lamar Jackson that is really a big part of this story. K-Man Rick, what do you got tonight? San Diego State, Alabama. Bama is a 7-point favorite in this particular
you got to go
game.
Alabama in this one. How not?
With the
they're
spread?
the team. Yeah, well, with the spread, still San Diego State can play some D. I still think Alabama moves on.
What about you, Miles?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Tide. I got a big future on them.
All right, I'll roll with the Tide as well. I think that they cover the 7 as well pretty easily. Actually, not pretty easily. I like them by 10 tonight. The 5 seed in Miami's got Houston. Houston now a 7.5-point favorite. I think that's jumped up just half a point here. Miles, who you got? You got the Cougars or the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I called FAU over Tennessee on Wednesday. So I'm going to go stick with that trend, and I'm going to go Miami here.
Ooh, I like it. Isaiah Wong.
That would be nice. Houston's a pretty good team, number 1 seed overall. I'm going to take them to win at least one more round.
No doubt. I'm going with Houston as well. I think, with the lack of number 1 seeds, only down to 2 right here. I like the Cougars, and I like the Sasser Twins. The largest seed, or the highest seed that we have left here, 15, Princeton, taking on the Blue Jays of Creighton, the 6th seed here. This will be the 8 o'clock game tonight. You can listen to that right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You got another upset here, Miles. Is it going to be Princeton, or is it going to be Creighton? Who you like?
Yeah, Princeton's Cinderella run is over. I think their Cinderella run's really fun to watch for the first 2 rounds, but once we get down to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, you want to watch the 4 best teams, the 8 best teams. So I think their run ends. I'm taking Creighton.
Hey, I'm a Jersey kid, baby. I used to live in Mercer County, not too far from Princeton itself.
What's up with Jersey and college basketball?
College basketball seems to love New Jersey. I remember being a kid. Big East basketball is a lot different. I pop up watching games on TV. And you had all the big players that were always involved, like the Seton Halls of the world. Villanova, stuff like that.
St. John's.
I remember St. John's too. Temple. A lot of great schools, a lot of great games back then. I can't go against Princeton. Got to take the Jersey kids at least one more time.
I would love it if that happens, especially having FAU still in the tournament. I think that would be great. However, I'm going to go with the Creighton or with the Blue Jays tonight. I think them being a 10-point favorite, I like Princeton with the points, but I like Creighton outright. Xavier, Texas, the 3-2 game. This will be the final game of Friday evening. Texas a 4-point favorite right here. I'm going to go with the Longhorns to come out victorious tonight. I believe I'm switching my pick because I had Xavier at first. I'm going to switch that up and go with the Longhorns.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty close game. I think the over's 147.5, somewhere close to that. I think it's going to be very high scoring, fun, back and forth the whole game. I'm going to go with Xavier.
Really, I'm going to go with Texas. I can't remember who I had in my bracket. My bracket's been busted. Haven't paid the closest attention to it lately. But Texas has been playing pretty well, and just why not go with them? Go with the team I think is going to win.
You're 100% on point, Miles. It is 147.5, which is a large total.
I'm actually right behind Amanda, too. I looked today, at the bracket, and I'm just one place behind her, so nipping at her heels.
Oh, I jumped up a little bit. I jumped up a little bit last night now from was in the 80s yesterday, now up at 61. Anyways, you guys have been riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got the Sweet 16 coming up next with Jason Horowitz for Miles Lashley, Caveman Rick, Adam Goff, Bone Crusher. I'm David Hayes, and we will see you guys Monday at 4 p.m. Coach James Hill Show will be live at 7 a.m.
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the Afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather forecast for this afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, mid to upper 70s, south wind at 10, water temperature in the Gulf is 71. Scattered clouds around 68 tonight. Pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, partly sunny near 80 each afternoon. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off